And hello everybody, it's Helloman saying hello world, and I'm joined by Sora Bell today to give you guys the top 4 PPG free weekly Dragonmaid profile. Hi Sora Bell, how are you doing?
I just want to congratulate you on your top 4 finish in the most recent PPG event.
It was amazing, man. Like, the final was the most hectic thing going back and forth, but we'll talk about that in a little bit more information, dude. It was
Okay.
crazy though.
So I'm currently looking at your deck profile. How was your matchups?
Round 1 matchup was Dragon Link, and that was my only loss. So it was 5 rounds of Swiss, and I went X1, and my first round was against Dragon Link. Unfortunately, I went 0-2, so they managed to beat me there. It was a really close game too, but I fortunately just saw enough outs to sort of manage my resources better than I could at that time.
Unfortunate.
Yeah. However, round 2 was the next one. I was like kind of looking forward to the matchup to see like how well this deck was performing in tests. It was against Inferno Bulls, whereby I sort of like was really like sort of streamlining my deck down to just like focusing on hitting the Isoldes, and I actually got a little bit clever with I had two impermanences, which was quite nice. I used both those impermanences to focus on the Isolde. So I did permanence Isolde's first effect, which you don't normally do. You always hit the Isolde in the second effect, of course. But I did it on the first effect. To like force them to then waste resources, so that like that second impermanence when they made a second Isolde basically ended up being like a +2 because so they had enough materials to make a link 3, but they used it then to make a link 2, so that's like a plus in terms of advantage that your opponent is negging. And then of course they then use that Isolde, they would have got an advantage off of that, but I then used the permanence to stop that. Their literal end board was brilliant. It was Isolde equipped with Phoenix Blade, 1900 attack.
Sounds like the most fearsome board.
Yeah, no, so that was
sure
quite nice. I managed to
crack.
2-0 them. Round 3 was against the new Phantom Knight buddy should be Burning Abyss cards, which again another deck I was really looking forward to with the brand new ban list, but fresh up tournament right around the corner. Round 4 was ABC, also 2-0'd, and then round 5 was the final one, and I went against Dogmatic Invoked Shadol, which is the one matchup, once again, I was looking forward to see, again, how's the deck performing, because it's been doing really well in testing, but also terrified about, because of course you're getting these boards of, maybe Winder, Mecha Dragoon, Punishment, and I had to face down a Mecha Punishment Dragoon. So that one I managed to also win, and now going into game 3 there. Just again managing the resources, trying to like just bounce things, and Spheres is an excellent card to out Dragoon.
Oh yeah, it is. And you go plus off of it.
Oh, super plus, man. So much advantage.
Alright, so let's talk about the individual list. We don't have to spend too much time on your hand traps, right?
One Nibiru, probably should mention it.
I would say so. Some would say you played at 3, correct?
Well, so the problem about playing at 3, is you brick on it. You just don't want to brick. It's been a thing I've done for at least all my tournaments. I just play the one copy in the Nibiru if I can, because why not? And I always seem to draw it. And it happened twice in the tournament as well. It's stupid. It shouldn't happen. The maths is just off. But I always play the one copy of the Nibiru because you don't want to brick on it.
Yeah. So let's talk about your starters.
Yeah, so the nice thing about this deck is it's split into 2 things. Split into starters and extenders. So there's roughly about 10 extenders in this deck, and there's also 10 starters in this deck. So the overall probability works out that your opening hand, if you're going first, is about a 60% chance to open 1 starter and 1 extender, which all these things are like work towards being 2-card combos to end you on the best board, which is Sheou, which is your Omni Negate and also advantage, as well as Spheres, which again is just more advantage and a non-targeting removal. So you got like Black Metal Dragon, because you want to play the Dragonmaids because you get so much advantage off different cards with the Dragonmaids more so than BMD. So you're mainly using BMD as a possible starter, but also more so as an extender, as you'll see later on when I show you guys one of the combos.
Right, so it fills that niche of being a starter extender. I completely agree with that assessment.
Yeah, so Free Chamber is again one of the best cards in decks. Such a spell and trap card, it's just fantastic, always play. I'll talk about the big dragons in a second. 2 Kitchen, because that's the divisive one right now, where even you and I have been like, going back on playing Kitchen. It's by far the worst Dragonmaid at all, because Parlor is the best one, because like based on statistics, Parlor works on every single one of the extenders. Chamber is a little bit worse than Parlor, because Chamber can't go full combo if you open a Hospitality, and Kitchen and BMD, Black Metal Dragon, they both have the problem of not going full combo if you have Noctovision Dragon, which is why also Noctovision Dragon is good with a lot of other things, but not great with everything. So sometimes I'll be like, if I have to decide something out, I might set out Noctovision based on statistics that Noctovision works with less cards, let's say. But like Kitchen's just one of those sort of things. You already have a lot of normal summons in the deck. You do want to see them. You can again go full combo of Kitchen, but most of the time you just rather see other things. So I found that healthy balance of 2 was quite nice to give me space to saw Tempest and the Gold Sarcophagus I put in there. Because again, Parlor is your best card, Gold Sarcophagus is base, and Tempest is basically a fourth copy of Parlor. And of course, if you do get those scenarios, which did come up, where you open Tempest and Parlor, Tempest then becomes any starter or any extender you want. So like going through that then, of course, we got Dragon Ravine, which is part of the combo you saw in search of Romulus. The one changeover, because just reading this format, I was playing it too, but so long as people aren't playing DD Crow, and Eldritch was just feeling not too prevalent, so like Haquiro banishing it, and it just doesn't come up too much. As long as you're like sort of reading the format, you can play changeover at 1. Hospitality is Monster Reborn and Foolish Burial. This card's absolutely insane. If any other deck had this card, people would be screaming for it to be banned, I'd swear. Gold Sarcophagus for the
people
Tempest.
don't like it already because Dragon Link has the card.
Of course, you know, that's why people play in Dragon Link. It's just part of the combo. Triple Tactic Talent, the card that always bricks me every single time. It's great to give you options to like scout your opponent's hand or draw 2 cards or whatever. But I think I must have had it 4 or 5 times in my hand in so many different games, and only probably used it twice. But yeah, so we got Wild Legacy Guard Dragon again, just more Monster Reborns. Also nice to move around columns because there's another separate combo than the one I'm going to show you guys, which you might have already seen with Almirage and LP, so you can like make LP live really quickly just by moving it with Wild Legacy Guard Dragon. Tidying, it's another Monster Reborn, but also doubles up as, you know, non-destruction removal by like returning a card in their graveyard or in that they control to the hand, as well as returning one of your own Dragon Maids. So it's like, or Dragons, not even Dragon Maids. So it's got some good versatility, but you're also using it as another copy of Monster Reborn when Parlor sends it.
An interesting thing is this card targets for cost, so you can target Hieratic Seal with this card and tribute it and bounce 2 cards on your opponent's field.
But then, like, so the thing, last thing I haven't then talked about, like I said, what left at last, is talking about the big dragons, because I was literally going back and forth in this, like, for this tournament of whether or not I wanted to play Tinkek, because it is a card that can help you out Dragoon just by like beating over it. But I was flip-flopping back and forth, and you want to play the Earnest because you can send it off of the Hospitality when you're summoning out Nurse, and also just use it as an extender because it can be a quick effect. And you also, once again, because you'll be using Hospitality on Parlor quite often, you want to get the advantage from Loper, and Loper can also be a negate, which actually comes in very clutch in certain situations to like as an effect veiler. So you wanted these cards are the most live ones. You want to streamline your deck as much as possible, so you don't want like having cards that aren't as useful. And the fact of the matter is, if you're playing Tinkek and you're using it to beat Dragoon or beat over Dragoon, you are really having to like try and get lucky with opening that one Tinkek. It was just a matter about consistency. Like, I don't think it's bad, so if people did want to play it, I could definitely see it, but it was just like trying to find that balance of consistency and like likeliness of like how useful these cards were.
Okay, I agree with that assessment.
Yeah, so like going into the side deck then, I've got a few more hand traps. So Lanciers, you know, you're talking about like dinosaurs especially, because this deck does not enjoy going against dinosaurs and they are still running around. Ghost Ogres, Isolde, Halofirebrax, Field Spell decks, you know, you got Union, you got ABCs running around a little bit more prevalently as well. Just again, trying to sort of run out the sort of staple hand traps. And then the thing that I've got in the side deck a lot of is a lot of back row removal, because the deck doesn't have any main deck back row removal, but it does have some stuff in the extra deck. So Cosmic Cyclones, Harpy's Feather Duster, and a Lightning Storm as well, just to round it out, just to sort of give myself some options of some quick effects going first. Could be Twin Twisters, they do about the same. But just have some quick effects going first.
How did you feel about the one copy of Dragonmaid Downtime?
So Downtime again was this other sort of back row removal, whereby even we do have Tidying, which could be used to like, you know, bounce back row removal. I just wanted to have something like have the option of another searchable continuous removal card, which could also double up as a really good card in certain grind formats, like against, let's say, Altgeist or Guru, which can be quite long grind matches. You just want to have that little bit of extra advantage, you know. And so you play it at 1 because you can search it with Chamber quite easily.
Okay.
Then rounding off the list is just
and
3
then
Solemn Strikes.
The Solemn Strikes.
Yeah. 3 Solemn Strikes, man. It's just the best removal, you know. You just outstat Verte, outs like so many other Omni Negates. Unfortunately, doesn't out Dragoon. It can negate its effect, but it doesn't destroy it. But of course, you know, Dark Rim Limor, just more going second cards. You can quite easily rip apart boards in this deck if you're just like going into House or even Access Code. So just more stuff to help you against those really ugly boards that can exist out there.
Okay. How about let's move on to the extra deck.
So extra deck, we got 1 Sheou, 2 House. Just you only need 1 Sheou. It keeps recycling itself. 2 House, just to like sort of manage resources, because sometimes you want to use 1 fusion summon into 1, and then use that to go into a Sheou, and then have another one to like tag out into. So these are the correct ratios. If you're obviously not playing Extravagance, you also would run more. access code to do a play with Twin Triangle Dragon, whereby you summon out Twin Triangle Dragon using 2 level 4 dragons, pay 500, and then summon one of your level 5 monsters to it. So if you summon something like Noctovision and then link that off into your link free, which in my case was Trisbania, could be a Nightmare Unicorn, you could then get extra advantage, do some chain blocks with Noctovision, which also draws you 1 when it goes, and then use that as more advantage to try and get up 2 access codes. So it's kind of like, I guess you could say, our dragon version, a bit like Slee. Another card that surprised people was Crossroads Dragon. I had so many people like asking to like read this card as if there was like some really hidden effect. And again, you'll see part of the combo. It's just its arrow and its typing. It's dragon, 2 monsters of different types. Yeah, I don't care about its effects, but it's just like a really fantastic card for how easily it just helps enable all these combos massively. So you got Romulus, just combo cards now. Romulus, LP, Pisty, 2 Spheres, because this is your best card in the deck, honestly. Like if like Sheou's up there, but honestly Spheres is just like a fantastic card for like your best non-Dragon Maid card, frankly.
I could not disagree.
So you got Nightmare Phoenix, just generic link sometimes comes up. Amirage, part of the combo. Striker Dragon helps trigger out Noctovision, and in those boards where you can't necessarily go full combo, you can use Striker Dragon, triggers Noctovision, summon from hand, and then also just make a Spheres after that. Trisbania was my tech choice and for my like link free, so this could be a Nightmare Unicorn. I chose Trisbania to give myself some more options in case I was going against other back row decks. So even though Unicorn, nice, it's targeted removal of anything, but Trisbania's like non-targeting, does a bit of banish, does the banish of a monster, which can be your opponent's monster if you get like some really clever zones up, which I managed to do. If you get like Trisbania under 1 EMZ, you summon out Spheres to the other EMZ. So now if your opponent has to summon something from the extra deck, let's say like their Isolde or something, they have to summon it to extra monster that's available, which as soon as they do it, they summon it, Trisbania effect will activate, it gets banished instantly.
So if you could change a couple things about the list, what would you change? What do you think worked in your mind better than in actual play? What do you think could be improved?
I guess you could. I was thinking, to be fair, about putting an IP Masquerader in, so like as an option, because of course you summon a lot of during your opponent's turn. So like there is options there, to be fair, which I might even like explore in the future, like IP Masquerader, do Unicorn, or even like an Appaloosa on your opponent's turn.
Okay, well said. So can you show us a combo, please?
Yeah, definitely. So I'll be showing through, like, so again, the nice thing about this deck is it has so many different avenues, and like I'll flash up on the screen at some point, like the different avenues and combos paths you can take, which paths get you full combo. But I'll just sort of be showing you, I guess, one of the nice ones with like Noctovision and Parlor. So Parlor is your best Dragon Maid for the normal summon Dragon Maid, because it works with every type of extender. But the idea is that if you can get to Amirage with 2 dragon monsters, so Amirage and 2 dragon monsters on field, that is full combo. But anyway, I'll show you this combo now, which I'm like quite happy with. So here it is, it's a 2-card combo, which again, 60% of the time you should be getting it, so majority of the time you should be getting your full combo in your hands. So normal summon Parlor, Parlor dump yourself, Tidying again being one of the monster reborns in the deck, one of the many. Link off Parlor into Amirage. Banish Tidying to then Monster Reborn the Parlor. This is where I'm saying like how you don't want to summon anything to your zone, like in case let's say you're using Chamber, you might obviously already get a chance to summon out Noctovision when you Monster Reborn, let's say Chamber or something. But the thing you want to make sure is that you don't summon Noctovision or any high level dragon that you can't then turn into LP. You don't want to summon it to the zone. If you summon it to the zone, it just completely ruins your plays, and you have to like try and make a really suboptimal board. So summoning out Parlor again from the Monster Reborn, link that off into an LP. When LP is summoned, you can special summon out the Noctovision Dragon. And now this is the point where you've got Almirage and 2 dragons. So you can have Almirage and 2 dragons before this, but that's what, once you know you got to this point here, you know you can definitely do full combo. So of course you don't need Noctovision in hand, it could just be another Monster Reborn you have in your hand, or Legacy Guard Dragon, Monster Reborn itself, Hospitality. You have so many different options in this deck. Nice thing of course about Noctovision though, is that you can obviously draw one whenever it's linked off. So you use Almirage and Noctovision to summon out the Crossroads Dragon, which again, it just cuts everyone off. Everyone just has to take that moment to be like, what did they just summon? But you're using, again, Crossroads Dragon because of its 2 monsters of different types, and its Dragon, which you can summon under LP, and then make LP live. Using LP's effect, you're summoning out your Black Metal Dragon from your deck. Summon out the Black Metal Dragon, link the Black Metal Dragon instantly for your Pisty. Use Black Metal Dragon, search yourself everyone's favourite now errated card. Below, you're getting your Red Metal Darkness Dragon here. Link off your Crossroads and LP into Romulus. Romulus, get you your Dragon in your Remember, this is not a Dragon Link deck. This is as far as like we even go into it, so you have to worry about that. I know, obviously, like me, a lot of people out there who want to play Dragon Maids want to play it as the deck it is, which you can do that and still have a little small combo which gets you your perfect board. Using Dragon Ravine, you dump the Darkness Dragon, and then you dump whichever Dragon Maid you haven't used. So if you've used Chamber as your starter, you dump Parlor here. If you use Parlor as your starter, you dump Chamber. That's the general way how it goes. And of course, if you, let's say, use Kitchen, you can dump Parlor or Chamber. In that point, I'd probably dump Chamber, because then you get your Fusion to your hand. So dump Chamber. Then use Pisty's effect. Pisty summon back the Red MD. Red MD then summon back the Chamber. Chamber then gets you the Fusion to hand. Again, like say if this is the opposite way around, you do Parlor, dump the Fusion. It's the exact same thing. You still get the exact same result. And then Pisty and Romulus goes for your spheres. I always make sure I make the spheres first, because every single time this happens, is that you ask like, your opponent, have they got anything on resolution? They generally would say no, because as soon as they see you've got the changeover, if they are going to Nibiru you, and they haven't already done it this way, they will wait for you to activate changeover, and then they'll chain it on the changeover. So, but the nice thing about having spheres up, as I mentioned before, is that if they do Nibiru you, and you get hit on spheres with Nibiru, then the spheres will trigger and summon you out a Nurse from deck, which gets you more advantage, which still means you could pass on spheres. So it's just playing through and getting an advantage at the same time. So then you make spheres, and then because you got a Dragon Maid and level 5 or higher dragon, you can use changeover using Red MD and your Dragon Maid to make Sheou. And this combo just would happen so many times, and it's such an impressive combo, because in standby phase on your opponent's turn, you get Sheou's little totally awesome effect, where you summon back when you're Dragon Maid, so it could be Parlor. I tend to summon on my opponent's turn, I tend to always like to summon Parlor if I haven't already got a Tidying in graveyard, so that way I've got another monster reborn. Of course, if your opponent does anything, you use Spheres, bounce it back to hand, bounce any face-up card back to hand, or sometimes bounce your own card back to hand. That's something a lot of people forget on. Like, you might have, let's say, a Wild Legacy Guard Dragon, they might have a lot of stuff you don't want to put back in their hand, because it might give them more options to, like, say, normal summon it or activate it again. But yeah, you know, so that's sort of the rundown of the deck, you know, so I hope you guys enjoyed it anyway. Yeah, so in that case then, I guess I'll just give my little shout-outs, of course. So obviously, as always, shout out to the PPG. They always do these like fantastic free weeklies. They're always tons of fun, and thanks to obviously all the judges who work hard to make sure we get those correct game states. And of course, thank you for also joining me, dude. Do you want to like give yourself a little plug?
My name is Sora Bell on YouTube. I have worked pretty hard for innovating on the Dragon Maid strategy. I came to help Helloman here put together his list to play in this event. So I would very much appreciate it if you guys would check out my channel and check
so
out
thanks
my
very much, Sora Bell. Like I said, did some fantastic fearing beforehand, and also shout out to my hungover friend for last minute YuGiOh advice when he was like coming back from drinking. So I think that's all of that stuff. So of course, guys, I've been Helloman saying goodbye world, and I hope you guys enjoyed the profile.
Take care.